Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another edition of the Mandatory Live. Remember, if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, follow us on our social media channels. We're at the Mandatory TKO, and we're also on the audio side. So you can find us there as well. If you got a couple of minutes, leave a rate and review because that always helps the channel grow as well. And for everyone that's already done that, thank you so much for rocking with the show. Canelo weekend.
Duh.
We got to talk about it just a little bit. Canelo Alvarez taking on William Scull, and the lines seem about right. Canelo Alvarez a minus 3,000. William Scull is a plus 1360. Brian, is Canelo going to finally get a knockout?
I don't know. To be honest with you, William Skull is not as bad as people think, but he's not Osles Iglesias, I don't even think. In terms of Cuban super middleweights. I don't think he's David Morrell, former Cuban super middleweight, but he's not bad. But like Canelo Alvarez hasn't got a knockout in almost 4 years. Caleb Plant was the last one. I think if you want to say Canelo Alvarez is past his prime, Jesus definitely will. I think Canelo Alvarez, I think in his prime, Canelo Alvarez stops Edgar Berlanga, stops Jaime Munguia, and I don't know if that guy currently exists in year 20. Like, it's also unreasonable to think in his mid 30s, turning 35 soon, I believe, and 20 years into his pro career, that he's still going to be doing this at the highest of highest levels. I think there's a reason he doesn't want to fight David Benavidez. And I think it's because David Benavidez would beat him. And I think with William Skull, it's a safer fight against a dude who's the weakest champion and the only other champion really in that weight class to bring the undisputed championships to the Terence Crawford fight, to fight a dude who's multiple weight classes smaller than you, a fight that he could lose, but it's Terence Crawford. So like this is going to sound bad, but from a sheer size and power standpoint, Terence Crawford's a safer fight than Dave Benavidez. I don't think Dave Benavidez is nearly the pound for pound fighter that Terence Crawford is, and I think Terence Crawford's an all time great. Dave Benavidez, he may be, but he isn't right now. But also for Canelo Alvarez, Dave Benavidez is a big dude. Even at light heavyweight, he's somebody who probably rehydrates close to 200, like 190 something or whatever it is. Whereas Terence Crawford, like, I don't care how many times he shows us that he's walking around at 187. He's not like he's fought at 135 and 140 and 147. Now recently 154 just one time. So it's different. And also, I think money wise, Terence Crawford is a bigger fight, obviously, than David Benavidez for the time being. So
Canelo and Bud, that was a dream fight for me at one point. We were talking about it last year, and I was like, I wish we get it. And we are going to be getting supposedly in September. So this is a tune-up fight for Canelo Alvarez and William Scull. He's undefeated. He's never been beaten before, but he's also like 32 years old. He is Cuban though. So as you know, Cuban fighters, they start to become pro a little bit later. But I think this is a tune-up fight. I think William Scull, he is a technical fighter. He has a good jab, but against Canelo Alvarez, who also has one of the best jabs, I feel like Jesus is going to hate me. He likes to get to the body. He moves around the ring well. This is just going to be an all-out perfect performance by Canelo Alvarez. I don't think he loses a round, and I think he wins by decision. And if he's like beaten up on William Scull a little bit too much, which I don't expect it, possibly, maybe he wins by stoppage. But I think this is a fight that will be a tune-up fight for Canelo, and he's gonna use this to get ready, obviously, for Terence Crawford. But also, like, isn't this a mandatory? This is a mandatory, if I'm not mistaken.
somebody wants this.
It's
I took Canelo by points as well, but plus 180, I believe that was. That's not a super confident play because, listen, William Skull, if he gets stopped in round 9, be like, okay. The over under is 9.5 rounds. By the way, for what it's worth,
if he does get stopped, it's going to be in rounds 9 through 12. That's
yeah, I think it's going to be late. This is the first fight of Canelo Alvarez's 4-fight deal with the Saudis, which he said he wouldn't do and then did. So let's bring this back. One of the great videos that we've played on this show of Jake Paul and his reaction to apparently ducking Jake Paul and cursing out Canelo Alvarez. which I know people don't like Jake Paul, and I'm not saying I do, but if it's him versus the Saudis, I mean, it'll be interesting to watch.
Oh, Canelo, you puta.
And this fucking YouTuber. I just fight real fighters.
Time to expose them. So we had a signed contract to fight. Here you can see Canelo's signature and my signature to the right. Claiming he's not fighting YouTubers. Bullshit. Look at the poster. We were announcing Tuesday, February 11th. Claiming he fights real fighters, but he's fighting Crawford, a 135-pound fighter, and running from a real fighter like David Benavidez, you bitch. The truth is you can be bought. You're a money-hungry squirrel chasing your next nut. The truth is these sports-washing shady characters are paying you hundreds of millions of dollars to stop our fight from happening because they couldn't fathom the fact that they can't create a bigger fight than me and you. Al Heyman has made you hundreds of millions of dollars and you turned your back on him for this check.
Real quick, I will say this. Canelo versus Jake Paul is a much bigger fight than Canelo versus William Scull.
100%. But I didn't like how he said Bud was a 135-pounder. Come on, Jake.
I mean, he was
like years ago, Brian. Yeah, like, come on, man. That's over a decade ago. Stop it.
Like, I get it. He's trying, like,
I get what he's doing, but I'm just like, come on, you sound stupid. You sound stupid saying that. Come on.
It's a thing. But still.
Disloyal. And you were begging to do this fight on pay-per-view. But I have loyalty. Loyalty to Netflix, doing the biggest numbers. And you call me a YouTuber, but you've never had a boxing match as big as mine. Remember you told my team that your daughter came home and asked if you were fighting Jake Paul? She was all excited. You said that was the first time your daughter's ever asked you about a fight. And you're screwing over all your Mexican fans by doing your fights in Saudi.
He's not wrong about that. He's not wrong about that.
Listen, tell it to Oscar De La Hoya, who put together Latino Night in Saudi Arabia, main evented by Arnold Barbosa Jr. and Jose Ramirez, two Mexican Americans in noted Mexican American hotbed Saudi Arabia.
Just shows what type of person you are. And I promise you one thing, Canelo. Any fight that you do this year, mine will be bigger. So go fuck off to your boss, you Ring Magazine employee, you pink and orange bitch. And fix that herpes on your lip, you dirty puta.
Oh my God. Oh my, he did have a herpes on his lip. Oh my God.